to maximize the opportunity that we have, you know, we really have to take it with that kind of attitude, that kind of commitment to ourselves and to our development, because when we have those skills, there's really no limit in terms of what we can create. I'm just curious, anyone here, as you've been growing your business, do you ever feel at times a little stress between if you're working another job? Stress between, oh, hey. I have a clone. How's that happen?
It's duplication.
Yeah, it's duplication. See? Take my advice, it happens automatically. Now, how many of you have ever felt a little stress between working your business, taking care of your family, doing a few other responsibilities? Just by a show of hands, how many of you? Okay, of course, it's a pretty natural experience. How many of you are worried that, gosh, if my business continues to grow, at some point, when I'm making more money and my team gets larger, it's going to get worse. I'm going to feel even more overloaded. Does anyone have that concern? Yeah, sure. What if I could show you a way where you could develop a six-figure income, a multi-six-figure income, even a seven-figure income, and set up your business so that it almost runs itself? Would that be of interest to you all?
Yeah.
Sure. And I'd like to say I came across this by accident. I didn't. I came across this by necessity, because when I started years ago, I was working with a team of men. I was completely surrounded by men. I had male teammates, I had male mentors, I had all male clients, and I learned some incredible business skills from these gentlemen. But I have to say, being the only woman on the team, I wasn't exactly encouraged to build a business in an authentic way. You know, if I was having a crummy day, no one came along and showed me how to deal with my feelings. You know, in fact, I think the most empathy I ever got from a teammate, I was really upset one day because I lost this big deal. He walks past me and he goes, "Suck it up, buttercup." Thanks a lot. You know, no one taught me how to build a business that gave me any sense of balance in my life. Or no one taught me a way to do business that felt authentic or heartfelt. And so here I was on my merry way, you know, doing business and using skills and techniques I've been taught. And, you know, I was very successful, but I was burning out. I got to this point where literally I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I was making great money, but I had no life at all. And I remember just stopping and telling, you know, what am I doing? This is not what I signed up for, right? And out of necessity, I started looking around and finding women who had the kind of success that I wanted to have, who were financially successful, but more so they'd set up their businesses so they truly had a life. They had a great lifestyle as well. And so I studied them and I wanted to know what they were doing, and I borrowed ideas and I tweaked it and I kind of created, you know, this system for myself. And I ended up creating this six-step system that I incorporated into my own business, and it really changed my life. You know, today I have a really nice income, you know, multi-six-figure income. I work about 20 hours or less a week. And most importantly, I spend the majority of my time doing what I love. I've got people in place and systems and technology that handles a lot of the details in my business, and I really love what I do. And I've also had the amazing opportunity to coach and mentor some of the top women in this profession. I think I've worked with about 860 women. And I've been able to share this system with them and see them take a lot of these ideas and apply it to their own business model. And now many of them are making more money than they were. They've got more free time. They've got more balance in their life. And more importantly, they're spending the majority of their time doing what they love. So the joy and the fulfillment is coming back into their business. And I think the most important thing that's happening, which is why I'm really excited to share this, is they're becoming role models of possibility for the women on their team. You know, they're really able to show that, hey, you can do this. You can build a business from home. You can have money. You can be very successful. And you can set it up so you actually have a life. So I wanted to share with you kind of the big overview of this system, and then we're going to go into a little detail. But the first step, it's pretty straightforward. It's business basics, which would include all the things you would need to know when you first start off in your company. So product knowledge, knowing how to book appointments, knowing how to lead classes, understanding and being able to explain the comp plan, all the nuts and bolts. And whenever I work with women, I always encourage them, you know, for this kind of training, you got to go to your upline. You got to go to your company because they are the experts. You know, they know exactly how you need to build this so that it works for your business model. But I find that when women get to the point where they've mastered this, that there's sort of a natural next step that takes place. And where we usually go next is self-leadership. And that would include ultimately being able to lead yourself, knowing how to coach and work with yourself. So if you are having a crummy day or a crummy week, you know, you're getting a lot of no's, you're dealing with a lot of rejection, that doesn't necessarily have to stop you. You know how to work with yourself to keep yourself going until you have a breakthrough. Or for women especially, knowing how to work with themselves so they use their time and their schedule very effectively. Because for a lot of us, that's one of the ultimate challenges, right? Having a vision, you know, knowing exactly where you're going and how you're going to get there, all falls under the category of self-leadership. Next step of the roadmap. Pretty obvious one, selling and sponsoring. Obviously, in this business, you have to know how to sell and you have to know how to recruit. And what I found in working with a lot of women is, I often hear from them, you know, I've been taught this way to do this that doesn't really fit for me. They've been sort of given a script, or they're taught this kind of old school way of selling and recruiting. And I think what's amazing these days is that the women that are entering this profession are pretty savvy. They're polished, they're professional, right? And the women that you're out speaking to are the same. And we need a way to do this that is on par with that. So one of the things I've been able to share with a lot of my clients is, you know, how to talk to people from a very heartfelt place. You know, how to be authentic. I think someone mentioned that this morning. You know, there's nothing more powerful than being yourself. And knowing how to really listen and knowing how to relate to someone in a way where they can really get the value of what it is you're offering. This part of the wheel I talk about is really growing the business, because when you get these three things in motion, that's when things really start to take off. Beyond this is where you start to leverage your business. And the fourth part of this roadmap, I find, is where you start expanding your network, which is what Jackie does so well, and Jody and Kimber, all the social media tools that we have available to us. You know, being able to take your existing warm market and multiply that out, put yourself in front of large groups of very qualified leads. You know, obviously the more you can do that, the faster your business grows. And once that happens, I found with a lot of my clients, especially women, this is kind of a bottleneck piece where your business starts to take off and things are really happening. And it gets to that point where our natural instincts can take over, which is we love to do it all, right? How many women are guilty of that besides myself, right? It's hard to delegate. No one can do it as well as I can. But this is truly a necessary piece, because there will come a point where your business is going to become so complex and so busy that in order to really move it forward, you've got to let go of some things. And Margie was talking this morning about delegating, and that's such an important piece. Being able to delegate tasks to your team, or having an assistant, or setting up tools and technology to manage aspects of your business. And my goal when I work with clients is to set up their business so that they get to spend 80% of their time doing what they love, what they're really, really good at, and have people or systems in place to manage everything else. And when that happens, I find that women become even more successful because you're accessing your natural gifts, right? And then the last step is leadership and legacy. By this time, most women are able to step out of their business a little bit. They've got more time and ability to really coach and lead their team, empower that next level, and basically help their leaders get to the point where they can take over and run a lot of the business, and they can really hold that vision and create a legacy for themselves and for everyone in their team.